Hello everybody, welcome back. If you're new, my name is Chris. Today's video has been a long time in the making. Like my top 10 favorite designer fragrances, the vast majority of these behind me I have had for several years, so I can assure you they have so far stood the test of time. Only a few are new in my collection this year or last year. So if you're interested to see right now what I am picking as my top 10 favorite niche fragrances in my collection, well, please keep watching. The first one on the list is a fragrance that I have been in love with for at least 5 or 6 years. It was absolutely love at first sniff, and it's one of the few fragrances that I wear year-round, and it is by Diptyque, and it is called Volutes. This one right here is the EDP version. I do have the EDT version. That one, however, has been discontinued, so I do kind of baby that one. But I wear the EDP in the colder months, and I wear the EDT in the warmer months. But this is, oh my gosh, just a gorgeous fragrance, particularly right now, this time of the year. This is a beautiful, I would describe this as a honey tobacco fragrance, a honey amber tobacco and some woods. There's sandalwood in here, a little bit of iris. This is a real gentle, delicate tobacco, beautiful dry down, ambery and sweet in the dry down, absolutely gorgeous. Will definitely be with me for a while. This one I'm not getting rid of. Some of my most beloved fragrances are those I smelled on somebody else first, and this next bottle is one of those fragrances. It is by Kilian. It is called Good Girl Gone Bad. This is a floral fragrance that I adore, and I don't adore all floral fragrances. This has loads of flowers in it. It's got jasmine, it has tuberose, it has May rose in here, narcissus, but what gives it the character is osmanthus, which gives it a really lovely apricot note. It's just, so it's kind of like a fruity floral, even though it is a floral. It has a beautiful sweetness from amber as it dries down, and there is a really nice kind of a dry cedarwood in the base that gives it a little bit oomph and kind of anchors it, keeps it from being too floral, too flighty. But I just never get tired of this fragrance. I absolutely love it. Again, works perfectly in the summer, but also I will be wearing it in the winter time on a beautiful clear day. So yep, Good Girl Gone Bad. So I am gonna bend the rules just a little bit for this next one. It's probably considered a designer fragrance because this house also makes jewelry, but I did not include it in my top 10 designers for life because it was a total oversight. And I really want this to make my list because I have been in love with it for at least 10 years or as long as it has been out, and it is a vanilla. And you know I love vanillas, so at least 1 or 2 vanillas had to make my list. It is by Van Cleef and Arpels, and it is the lovely Orchidee Vanille. This is just such a timeless vanilla fragrance for me. It's just so nice. It's got so many, different layers to it. At first you have this really nice kind of subtle punch of citrus. It's a little bit of orange. And then it kind of goes into this lovely dark chocolate note that I just love. It's not too sweet. There's these beautiful florals. I can't detect the orchid note, and I've talked about it before. Orchid, if you don't know, it's a fantasy note. There's no such thing as orchid essential oil. They generate it in the lab, but what they want to do is make it smell like a spicy floral. And I would say that the floral note in here is a little exotic, a little spicy. And it just settles into just such a lovely, decadent, but not overly sweet vanilla that just kind of hits all the right notes. Just absolutely love it. I don't wear this in the warmer months. It's just a little too rich for that, but I'm gonna start wearing it a whole lot in the next few months as it gets colder. So another love of mine. This next fragrance I have no problem calling a true masterpiece in my collection. It was the fragrance that really kind of sent me down that niche rabbit hole. Now, I had had niche fragrances before this one, but this is one that really opened my eye to the beauty and the uniqueness of niche fragrances. It is by Annie Tower, and it is L'air du désert Marocain. I remember precisely when I smelled this fragrance. It was in 2014. I had just kind of joined this niche fragrance club where you get, now there's there's 20 of them, where you get little samples sent to you each month. And I think around the third month that I had joined, I got a sample of this, and it just, my eyes got, big as saucers. It made me weak in the knees, and I just fell in love from that moment on and knew I had to have a bottle. And I've had it in my collection ever since. Oh my goodness, this just smells so good to me. It is, it's like the name implies, this is supposed to conjure up the idea of being in the middle of the Moroccan desert at night, which is a very, very dry place. And you're on the outskirts of town, which is very bustling with spice markets. So it's a very spicy fragrance. It's all about spices. It's liturgical. It's a little bit incensey. It has some beautiful sandalwood in here. It's a touch aromatic in the beginning, and it dries into the most beautiful amber. This is a gorgeous amber perfection. There are just a little bit of florals in here. There's rose in here. This is absolutely not a rose fragrance. It's really kind of buried in there, but it just gives it a little bit of depth. This is all about the amber and the spices, and I love it. And there was no way I was making this list and this was not going to come out, close to the top. This is probably one of my all-time favorite fragrances. I have no problem saying that. So for sure it made my list. This next fragrance I never talk about. I never see anyone else talk about. And it's not for everyone, but there is something about this fragrance that just speaks to me, and I love it deeply. And it is by Parle de Parfum, and it is called Milky Musk. Now, I do not wear this in the warmer months. To me, this is a cold weather fragrance. I love to wear this fragrance. Oh my goodness, this is a sandalwood fragrance. So listen, whatever the notes are, and there's some controversy about that, what I get musk and I get sandalwood. That's what I get. And the sandalwood is a cleaner sandalwood. It's a little bit sharper. And the musk in here is probably a synthetic musk. It's either synthetic or it is from the musk botanical musk made from ambrette seeds. But the musk to me smells a little bit aromatic. It smells like sage, and it's a little bit sweet. So what that translates into is very wood chippy. This type of musk with sandalwood comes together and smells very wood chippy. It's a beautiful, creamy, smooth sandalwood. I do not get any milky notes in here. I don't get anything lactonic. That's just me. But I love this fragrance. This is my hiking fragrance because it just smells like the outdoors. One of the most amazing scents. It's just very woody and musky and natural, and I absolutely adore it. It is not a super strong projector, but on me, it lasts for hours. Like, I will spray this, I will leave the house, I will be gone 2 to 3 hours hiking. I'll come back, and several hours later, someone will walk by me and say, "You smell like the woods." And it's not because I rubbed up against trees. It's because that's what this smells like. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I adore it, and there was no doubt it was going to make my list. I need to talk more about this beauty. This list was very easy to generate for the first 8 fragrances, and the last 2 were a little bit more difficult. I had probably 6 or 7 other bottles that could have easily made the list, but I just asked myself, if I had to choose 10 fragrances that were niche, what 10 do I want to smell like right now? And so this next one made the list. It's one of my newer fragrances, but there's just something about it. It's very, very special. I adore it. It is a vanilla fragrance, and I I had no problem putting it on the list. So it is by EBK, and it is Ruby and Vanilla Intense. There is just something so gorgeous and special about this fragrance. One of the many special things is I do not have anything that smells like it. It is just very decadent. It's very rich. It's very luscious. It's umptuous. It's just got these gorgeous notes that are so well blended. You know, this beautiful vanilla. It's got a mandarin at the top. It has almond. There's a bergamot in here. There is guaiac wood. It's got velvety notes. I don't know what that is. Velvety notes could be a whole list of things, but it is a velvety, gorgeous fragrance that just may not appeal to everyone as much, but it certainly appeals to me. I adore it. I have given decants to a few close friends, and the vast majority of them think it is as stunning as I do. So it was worth tracking this down. It was worth getting, and it was worth putting it in my collection and in my list. So yes, Ruby and Vanilla Intense. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about this next fragrance. If you're watching this video and you are a fragrance lover, you have probably smelled this fragrance. You have smelled a dupe of it or an impression of it, and everybody pretty much has firm ideas whether they like it or not. I fall firmly into the I love this fragrance. I've loved it ever since I smelled it, and it is the Francis Kurkdjian. I think it's a masterpiece, and it's Baccarat 540. There's just, you know, the things that I love about this fragrance are probably the things that some people don't like about it. This crazy sweetness is light and appealing, and something that just keeps me going back for more. And whenever I wear it, I am constantly smelling my wrist. I adore it, and there's really nothing else to say. It is beautiful, and wasn't a question if it was going to make my list. The next fragrance on the list may be a surprise to some people because it's not an overly complicated fragrance. Some people might even call it simple, but for me, fragrances don't have to be complicated to be beautiful. And it is by Nuit Nomade, and this is called Nothing But Sea and Sky. There's just something that's super appealing to me that I just keep coming back to. This is a fragrance I want to smell like. This is a sandalwood fragrance, but it's a super bright, clean sandalwood. It has 3 notes listed. I'm sure the other ones are vaulted, but it has sandalwood, bergamot, and musk. Pretty straightforward. There's just something clean and rich and smooth and creamy and bright about this. And one of the other few fragrances that I wear year round. I will definitely be wearing this in the wintertime. And if you follow me on Instagram, I posted this all the time on a beautiful cold day, maybe even snowing, but there was just like not a cloud in the sky. That's usually when I wanted to pull this fragrance. I'm also excited to talk about this. I have had an extra bottle of this for several months, and I've been wanting to do a giveaway, and I thought I would do my giveaway when I did my sandalwood fragrance, but I thought now is as good time as ever. I have an extra bottle for any one of my subscribers, and I'm happy to give that away. And at the end of the video, I'll tell you how to do that. But yeah, this is a gorgeous, clean, airy, light, year-round beauty. It doesn't last forever. It's pretty quiet, but I absolutely adore it, and that's why it made my list. Second to last one on the list was another Love at First Sniff. This was a total shoe-in on the list, and if you follow me, I'm pretty sure you know which one it is. It is by Lubin, and it is Black Jade, the gorgeous Black Jade. This is a stunning, spicy, ambery, floral. I love amber fragrances, and this is another one that just has a beautiful amber note. It starts off just really nice and fresh. There is a bright bergamot in the beginning. There's cardamom, and I really smell cinnamon. It's a beautiful, sweet cinnamon note. Florals in here. There's jasmine and rose. I mostly get rose. And as it dries down, it just dries into this spicy, ambery goodness. There's just nothing else to say. Gorgeous scent bubble. I have had people who do not like fragrances ask me what I'm wearing. I just absolutely love it. It is very unique, and no doubt it was going to make this list. Last but certainly not least is a stunner. It's a fragrance I fell in love with a couple years ago when I smelled the sample for the first time, and it took me a while to get the bottle because the bottle for a little bit was hard to find, and I'm so thrilled I have it because I love to wear this fragrance in the colder months, the months we're heading into right now. It's a total stunner. Ivory Route by Xerjoff. The reason I love to wear it in the cold because it's super spicy. It's really spicy and peppery. It's a little bit camphorous to me. It has a little aromatic note to it, and it has this beautiful woody note. It gets a little bit woodier as it dries down. It gets sweeter as it dries down. It's just absolutely gorgeous. It's very multi-dimensional, and it is very well blended. I mean, this is, again, pretty close to a masterpiece in my opinion. So I'm happy to end the list with my Ivory Route. So I'm really excited to be able to give away a bottle of one of my favorite fragrances, Nuit Nomade's Nothing But Sea and Sky. And the reason I'm giving it away is because when I ordered this one last year around November, December of 2020, there was a lot going on in the world, if you may have remembered. And the bottle, I never got my bottle, so I contacted the lovely people at Nuit Nomade and I said, you know what, I haven't gotten my bottle yet. It's been about 6 weeks. Can you track it, or can you let me know when you think it's going to arrive? I think it had probably been closer to 8 weeks. They tried to do some tracking and it looked like the package had been lost. So they sent me out another bottle. The second bottle got to me very quickly, and wouldn't you know, around March, I think it was like 3 months later, the first package arrived, and so the first bottle came to my house. I contacted the lovely people at Nuit Nomade, and I asked them if they would just send me a return slip and I could send them package back, and they said, you know what, go ahead and keep it. So, and it was Philippe who I was dealing with, and so I thought, how lovely of them. I'm going to go ahead and turn that around and pay it forward and give it to somebody else. Since I don't need it, I already have my bottle of the fragrance. So the only thing I'm going to ask is that those that want the bottle, since it's only sold in Europe right now, you cannot get a bottle of this in the States. I'd like to keep this I would like to have this closed for the people in the States, just because we can't get it anywhere here. We have to order it from abroad. So yeah, so if you are interested, and this is obviously not the bottle is still in its package, still in the wrapping. So if you're interested in this fragrance, just please let me know in the comments. Just drop me a comment and let me know that you're interested. You don't have to do anything else except just comment and let me know and why you want the fragrance, and I will randomly draw somebody probably within the next couple weeks. I'm going to let it go a couple weeks because I know everybody has busy lives, and I know that people aren't always on YouTube 24/7, and I'm gonna let the people who, you know, have got a lot going on, have jobs and families and other things, give them a couple weeks to watch the video and apply for the giveaway if they want to. So yeah, so that's it for my top 10 niche fragrances for life. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for sticking around. And I would love to hear what your top 10 or some of your favorite fragrances for life are in the niche department. So until next time, this one, the EDP I wear in the autumn and the colder months. So this is just a gorgeous, ooh, my lid just fell off. Yikes. Cut.